think the substitute is better than 90% of Arthur's. You know, sometimes hot takes are hot takes for a reason. I'm trying to figure out how to respond to that in a way that is not, just toxic and rude, but that is fucking absurd. Let's put it that way. That is an absurd take. So this is the dude. So, he has these stats, no pursuit, so speed doesn't matter. His speed is fucking irrelevant. No pursuit because he can't double people. And he has B rank wind. He can only use wind magic, which in fairness, wind magic is the best magic type, right? So not being able to use fire and thunder doesn't really matter. But on promotion, he gets the other magic types and swords instead of stats. So he's worse than a sage. And does not get a horse, does not get staves, does not get anything worth anything, doesn't get pursuit, by the way. 40% magic growth. Let me pull up, in my opinion, the worst magical Arthur, because I think comparing Ahmed to a physical Arthur is an unfair comparison. That's a pairing that you're not going for. Adept makes his speed not irrelevant. Sure, you can gamble to potentially proc Adept. You're right. He has a 14% chance to strike twice. Cool, I guess. Physical dad for Brave Sword. Look, I know people like the fucking Vantage Wrath stuff. We'll talk about that later because it's bad. But first, I need to address the first travesty before the second one. Claude Arthur. I mean, let's talk about Lewin Arthur first, because here's why Lewin Arthur is so good. We'll do a unit review of him, because that's who we're getting. But he starts with Forsetti. He starts with a legendary weapon. So he can get around the fact that his magic growth is only, his magic growth is pretty mediocre, and his base is, okay. But just using a super powerful tome. He has a 30 might tome in his starting inventory. In addition to that, he has Adept, Critical, and Wrath. So, if you want to do gambling stuff with a guy who can't double, let's just compare Ahmed, even before factoring in that this guy right here has a 40 might tome. Is it 40 might or 30 might? FE4 Forsetti. A 30 might tome that gives him extra skill and speed. Even before factoring that in, they are nearly identical units, the same magic growth, which is considered disappointing on Arthur. I say nearly identical, it's just the magic that's nearly identical. Arthur is ahead on everything else. Other than res, boo-hoo. But Arthur gets Wrath, Arthur gets the critical skill, and Arthur gets a much better promotion. He gets 2 less magic, but he gets a horse, so he can actually keep up with people. And he gets B-rank swords. He can use the Brave Sword. Ahmed cannot. 130% HP growth on a mage is funny. That's just FE4, though. 110 speed growth, so Adept actually matters. Yeah, so even without the Pursuit Ring, because that's before factoring in, Arthur gets Inheritance. Ahmed does not get Inheritance. Ahmed's starting inventory is just a Wind Tome. It will always just be a Wind Tome. Arthur can start with the Pursuit Ring, which I think is decent to pass to him. I think, personally, I prefer it on Leaf, but I think Arthur is a decent user of it. He obviously starts with Forsetti, a much stronger tome than Wind, but he can start with an Elwind that has critical on it. Just looking at our Elwind, I have 18 kills on this. I have 18 kills on this. You can start building up crit kills on the Elwyn that you pass down to Arthur, Ahmed not getting inheritance is such a huge deal. And then his payoff is just a war mage, just another infantry mage. Which, like, the big deal about Arthur is that he actually keeps up. He's the only mounted mage you get, aside from Leith, who doesn't have a good magic stat, in Generation 2. If you want a mage who can actually reach the front lines, it's gonna be Arthur. If you want to keep the Pursuit Ring for after Chapter 3, it's useful. Yeah, like, if you don't send the Pursuit Ring away with Ethlyn, then I think Arthur is the best recipient of it. Well, Lewin Arthur specifically. Because if you don't like Lewin Arthur, if you're doing, like, the canon pairing with Aaron or whatever, can I introduce you to Azel Arthur, who is just statistically better than Ahmed. 50% magic growth, 70% speed growth, and he actually has pursuit. So he can double things reliably. Ahmed sometimes double things. Azel Arthur will always double slow things, right? And he can use Wind Tome, so unlike Azel, he can be what Azel Glazers say Azel is. He can actually be the infantry mage that doubles things and then gets a horse relatively quickly. But even if for some reason you've got those pairings occupied, which, like, I guess if you're doing rescue staff and the cannon pairing, a Claude Arthur, I would argue, is still better. Because even though he has no skills, he has better growths. He has a 50% speed growth, a 50% magic growth, he gets a horse, he can inherit pursuit if you want him to. He also has universally better weapon ranks. Well, so, yeah, he does actually. I was gonna say the Thunder, but I forgot because of Tell to You, Arthur always has the same Thunder rank as Ahmed. Even Claude, who does not pass any weapon ranks like Azel and Lewin do, even the Claude Arthur has B rank swords for Brave Sword shenanigans. And then Wrath is a better skill than Adept because you can actually take advantage of it instead of gambling on it. What is the, like, genuine question, chatter who said that Ahmed is better? Leave all these on while you play the game. Genuine question, why is Ahmed better? What is the logic for this? Derek. What does Ahmed bring to the table that Arthur does not? Because, like, looking at these units side by side, I genuinely do not see an upside to Ahmed. Is it the 1 point of base magic? Like, at least with something like Azel, I can understand what the cope is, right? Because it's pursuit, right? It's the dream of a horse. What is the Ahmed cope? I genuinely want to know. I'm not trying to be like an asshole. I recognize that I just, like, pulled aside the gameplay for a tangent to be like, this is why I disagree with you, this is why you're wrong. But, like, I'm not trying to say you're stupid and I want to punch you in the face or something. I'm genuinely curious where the Ahmed logic comes from. Pursuit Ring? I mean, you could give Pursuit Ring to Ahmed, but he has to purchase it instead of getting it via inheritance. And his starting gold is, what is it, 2,000? I have to pull it up on the wiki because it's not listed on the bot. FE4 Ahmed. Pursuit Ring costs 40,000 gold. Ahmed starts with, 2,000 gold. So he's 38,000 gold away from purchasing the Pursuit Ring. So I don't think the Pursuit Ring, saves him. I think Ahmed is one of the worst units in Gen 2. And I think even if he wasn't the substitute for Arthur, who is one of the better Gen 2 units, and, like, so you feel so bad as, like, a downgrade. What about physical dads? Why are we giving the mage a physical dad? This isn't a Lester Lana situation. Both of Tailtew's children are mages. So like the only physical dads that people cope on Ahmed, and I'll pull this one up too, because I think it's, or not Ahmed, Arthur. The physical dads people cope are Vantage Wrath. And I'll pull up the Lex one, because I believe Lex is better just because of Paragon. FE4, Lex, Arthur. We get a base magic of 8 and a 15% magic growth. That's awful. The cope is that Vantage Wrath means you will always strike first and always get a critical hit. The most powerful tome that Lex Arthur can have equipped at base is El Thunder. I actually had this conversation because we ran the numbers. So let me pull up my YouTube comment section so that I can pull up the exact numbers and explain why Arthur misses every single one-shot on his join map, even with the critical hit. Lex Tailtew, with a magic ring, has a base damage of 42 with Wrath. Because of with El Thunder, right? And 42 damage sounds impressive. Like, Vantage 42 sounds impressive for other Fire Emblem games, but the kill thresholds are actually higher than that for every single unit on the map that he joins. Chapter 6. You cannot one-shot the Armor Knights because the kill threshold for them is 45 to 47 magic damage. The Axe Fighters have a kill threshold of 47 magic damage. The Axe Knights have a kill threshold of 43 magic damage. And the bosses have a kill threshold of 65 magic damage. So on the very first chapter he's available, he fails to hit the one-shotting thresholds Vantage Wrathing. If you are not one-shotting while Vantage Wrathing, you're dying because you're at low enough health that you just get killed, right? So the appeal, the idea of like, well, we just do Vantage Wrath, guaranteed go first, guaranteed critical hit. It sounds cool, but he just fails to reach kill thresholds with it, even with the magic ring, even with the highest possible tome that he can use unpromoted. Thoron is an A rank tome. With Thoron, if you which you have to promote Arthur for Thoron. With Thoron, he gets 72 damage. You have to struggle through 18 levels of only dealing 42 damage with Wrath before you're able to deal 72 damage. And the enemies are too strong to die to 72 damage at that point. Your troops are freezing, help them. Look, I'm sorry, I have to rant about Arthur stuff because people on the internet have opinions that I disagree with. Come to bed, honey, it's so late. No, I can't. Someone on the internet is wrong. I have very strong opinions about Arthur ever since I got, like, a ton of fucking Aaron Arthur fans going crazy over my Aaron pairing video. Or Aaron Forsetti, said Forsetti, the canon pairing. I had a bunch of people just, like, absolutely losing it over the pairing I recommended, the pairings I recommended, right? And so ever since then I've just been more and more doubling down on my pairing takes. Imagine someone being wrong on the internet. I mean, like, it is a matter of different opinions, but my opinion is backed up by, like, having run numbers and, like, looking at things from measurable points of view, right? There's sort of this idea in the, you know, Fire Emblem fan base of, like, you know, calling an opinion we disagree with, you know, objectively wrong or whatever, and I don't think that's the case. I don't think that objectively, quote unquote, one pairing is better than the other or whatever. But I do think that, like, looking at the numbers, both around the Ahmed thing and the Vantage Wrath thing, like, the numbers just don't support that conclusion. Anyway, those are my Arthur rants. There will probably be more. I think we scared away the Ahmed enjoyer. I'm sorry. I was not trying to be mean. I have very strong... Oh, I went the wrong way with Arden. I was not trying to be mean. I have very strong opinions when it comes to these units. So, like, it probably came off as, like, aggressive, and I'm sorry about that. That was not my intention, but intention is not impact, right? So... yeah. I am genuinely curious if you are here. Like, I want to hear the Ahmed defense. Or Ahmed cope or whatever. That was rage bait that I came up with on the spot. Okay, like I said, Derek, I'm not trying to be an asshole. Like, I just think you're incorrect. I just walked in. What did you miss? My cancellation. Lord Sigurd, my apologies. Take care of yourself. Successfully baited. I mean, look, I may have been successfully baited, but now I've got a video. I'm gonna make this into a fucking Ice Rider. I mean, I'll have to edit it or whatever, but I think that I'm gonna make a video out of it, so... You can cope that I gave you good YouTube Shorts material. I mean, that was like, what, a 20-minute rant? It's definitely not Shorts material, but it will be Ice Rider.